What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the Rookie of the Year candidates for the Overwatch League Season 3. So we're just going to jump right into this. I'm going to start off with the top teams, the people that you would obviously think of immediately when someone asks this question. First up we got Lip, right? Obviously he's on Shanghai. A new DPS coming into the league. I mean, he's alongside Fleta, so he's got a good DPS partner already. But this guy's insane, man. I mean, if you watched the first time they went against Seoul, Lip just walked out there and just destroyed Fitz, just pick after pick, just insane. He gets so many final blows that it is pretty crazy considering he's on the same team as Fleta and debatably outshining him. Obviously he's got the hit scan roll, so he can do a little bit more damage than Fleta when he's stuck on the Mei and stuff like that. But even when they're playing other things, I mean, Lip rather looks incredibly comfortable, you know, especially when he's on the McCree. His McCree is quite clearly what I think you'd give him Rookie of the Year for, right? Like, he comes out here on the McCree, you know, it's a McCree dominated meta. He walks out there and he just dominates anyone he comes across, right? I don't think he plays bad on other heroes. We've seen a Sombra a little bit, but it's not... I mean, it's good, but it's not insane or anything. He doesn't play bad on it, but when you have a team like Shanghai to play around, it's hard to not get value out of the Sombra, you know what I mean? The incredible follow-up that they have. But his team sets him up in such a good position, and yes, they give him resources, but what he does with the resources is absolutely crazy, right? You see him walk out here just getting kills like all the time, constantly. He's constantly pressuring the enemy team. He sets himself up in like aggressive, really good spots, like incredible off angles, really good high ground spots, but he's never too risky with it. He knows exactly what he wants to do with it, and he gets away with it a lot of the time. But I don't think that's because he's lucky or anything. I think it's, one, when he gets into fights that come down to like pure mechanical skill, it's harder to get better than Lip, you know what I mean? Like, he just comes out there and he dominates anytime it's something mechanics. If you watch this guy point of view, and in multiple games, he just hits all headshots all the time when he can. Like, if there's no shield and Lip's in your sightlines, you're dead. But moving on from Lip, there is also another really big contestant, and I'd say these are the top two so far. And that's going to be Alarm from the Philadelphia Fusion. I mean, you think of insane off supports, right? And the first thing that pops in your head is Jonak, right? This dude walked on the field like another Jonak. Like, his playmaking is insane, right? He sets up so many opportunities for the Philadelphia Fusion, whether it be antis, sleep darts, or just like how fast he can build his ultimate. I think really what you're looking at is his Ana. His Zen's not awful, but it's not like, you don't compare his Zen to Jonak's or some other top tier support, but you can definitely compare their Anas, which I think is saying something, because in my opinion at least, Jonak's the best Ana in the league, and that's just... The only other contestants are probably Alarm and maybe Shu. There are definitely some other ones. Gangnam Jin's really good, Myunbong, even though he's on Boston, he's a really good Ana too, but Alarm is the first thing that comes to mind, right? He's super aggressive. He's not afraid to get picks by himself as an Ana player, right? He just walks up there and he'll take the duel. But he's able to take the duel while keeping his team up and setting up so many amazing plays, right? Like, you think of Philadelphia Fusion, you think Carpe's insane, right? They just picked up Fury. Sato's picked it up really hard recently. And Alarm has not gone unnoticed at all. A lot of the community loves him. And he's got some good trash talk to him too, so that adds to it. But he definitely backs it up with a lot of talk. I don't know if I would give it to him just yet, though. I think we need to see a little bit more from him, because Philadelphia is really good, and he plays insanely well, but I think we need to see some of the other off supports and compare them to him, right? Because, like, right now, the only thing we can really compare him to is Jonak, and while I think Alarm is really good, Jonak is just Jonak, you know what I mean? MVP of the inaugural season, he's insane, but Alarm for sure is a really, really good choice for Rookie of the Year. Okay, next on my list, I actually have Doha. Now, a lot of people either are going to be 100% on board or totally confused by this, right? Because Decay's clearly the carry for Dallas. It's not even, like, debatable, but Doha definitely can step it up when he needs to. His flexibility already is enough to just warrant him being a good rookie, like a great pickup for Dallas, right? He walks out there on the Mei, right? A lot of players that are play DPS are either Mei specialists or can't play Mei, or like they're not bad at it, but you know, I mean, it's Mei. You can't really be terrible at it, but you know, there are some people, like, take Nico, for example, right? He's definitely most comfortable on the Mei Haxall, right? I mean, obviously, he plays as Genji. He's known for his Genji. His Pharah is really good. But his Mei's up there, too, right? But Doha comes out here, dominates on the Mei, right? You put him on the Sombra, and the dude's insane. His Sombra is one of the best in the league, in my opinion, at least. And the amount of stuff that he sets up for the Dallas Fuel is just insane. Like, you think of Decay carrying fights on his back, just getting elims. Well, Doha's the one, a lot of the time, that puts him in these positions to get these elims, right? Doha and Decay are the DPS lineup of Dallas, and they are the carries, right? A lot of the credit goes to Decay, but Doha is still insane, right? And then especially, like I said, it doesn't just end at Sombra. His Doomfist, he got to bring it out a few times. It is phenomenal. Like, I might say genuinely one of, if not the best Doomfist in the league is Doha, right? Like, he comes out here and he just dominates on it. Any hero you need Doha to play, you just stick him on there and he does incredibly well. I believe he played Reaper as well, and his Reaper performance wasn't like top tier. It wasn't like one of the best in the league or anything, but it was definitely serviceable. And for someone that you're picking up to be your flex, not your hit scan, the fact that they go into Reaper and they dominate as hard as Doha did, or I guess not dominate, but perform to the same level that Doha does, I think that says a lot about how good of a player he is. Okay, next, a lot of people are most likely expecting this one, but it's going to be Xe, right? Now, he's out for injury right now, so unlucky. But what he did do, I mean, he beat the Philadelphia Fusion, right, with the help of Paris, but obviously, he does do a lot for Paris. I think he is the carry DPS for Paris, right? Like, you throw in Soon, and Soon's really good, but Xe is just a new level, right? His McCree is just disgusting to watch. Xe, I became a fan of Paris solely based off just watching Xe's McCree. It's just entertaining, right? He's insanely good mechanically, and his decision-making in-game is really good. Honestly, this might sound like a weird compliment or something, but his high noons, his dead eyes, get insane amounts of value, whether it's just spacing or it's, you know, getting kills, picking off people going into a fight, shield break, whatever it might be. Xe has a really good brain and a really strategic line of thinking when it comes to using his high noons, and he gets lots of value off of them. Other than that, he positions aggressively in the fact that he can get himself out of the position or have his team help him, but he's not usually the person that'll get picked first. Like, he plays aggressively, but positions kind of passively. I don't know if that makes sense, but he is never caught out, really. And whenever he flanks or takes an off angle or does something risky, there's always a type of, like, safety to it when he comes to him. It could just be his raw mechanical skill, right? Because you don't want to get into a duel with Xe. Even, it didn't work out for even, like, Carpe, people like that, right? Who are some of the best players in the world at Overwatch, right? I mean, when Xe is matching mechanical skill with that, that's insane. And like I said, he's got a really good team to back him up too, but he really came out swinging really hard at the beginning of the year. Really, really unfortunate to see that he's injured right now, but I hope he comes back swinging too. I think, honestly, if Xe gets healed, Paris come back up. I mean, we haven't seen Sparkle yet either. Sparkle Xe is just disgusting. Like, that lineup might be the best in the league, and I'm saying that unironically now that there's some really good ones, you know, Shanghai, Lip Fleta, Seoul, Prophet Fitz, Philadelphia, Carpe Ivy, or Hisu, or whatever, whoever they're running, but Xe's definitely up there, and he deserves a lot of recognition. Next up, also from the Paris Eternal, I have Hanbin, right? Now, I just talked about how Xe sets himself up to where he is aggressive, but not risky, and he's not going to get caught out of position. A lot of that goes to Hanbin, right? The man's diva is legendary. It's just legendary. He's so good at diva. It's insane. When he pulled out the Sigma, I was having doubts about his other heroes because a lot of off tanks just play diva, right? He pulled out the Sigma, phenomenal. Just destroyed. He destroyed people. He was getting multi-kills, right? His bomb placement's really useful. I know I keep bringing up ult usage, but when it comes to Paris, I think one of their strong suits is how well they use their ultimates, and I think Hanbin's a huge part of that. The amount of peel that he provides for his tanks is just incredible. He plays, like, you think of really good off tanks, right? Like, maybe not really good, but we'll say Hoppa or Poca, right? And they come in here, they make these plays, they get a bunch of kills, you know, they rack up their points, right? Hanbin is a little bit more like down to earth with it, right? He doesn't go in there and get a bunch of kills on D.Va anyways, but he definitely peels for his team, and he definitely makes a lot of space just by being there. It seems like his positioning is always near perfect, and he knows exactly when to do what, right? Like when the defense matrix comes up, it's all over for any ultimate that's thrown out, you know what I mean? I mean, he's incredible. He really is. Okay, next player, and probably the last one for right now anyways. I may make a part 2 to this video as the season goes on after the May tournament, we'll see. But Yaki. Now, Yaki's got a bit of an ego, and I think it's both kind of funny, but also kind of warranted. He's a really good player, right? I mean, at the beginning of the year, I was like, Florida got a win, right? Like, they ran Yaki on Doomfist, as Doomfist is insane. But watching his Echo, I mean, there's Rascal, there's Prophet, there's a lot of good Echoes out there, but I think Yaki's goes kind of not under the radar, because a lot of people know that he's a good player, but as far as his Echo goes, insane. He came out there swinging. Now, again, it was against Vancouver and some other lower level teams, so we'll have to see what he does against the higher ones, but totally turning Florida around is a big feat to do, and a lot of it was Yaki. I think Gangnam Jin would also be a good add-on. That'd probably be my 6th if I did one more player, but Yaki's just insane, right? Like, you see him on the Doomfist, kind of the same type thing as Doha, right? He comes out on the Doomfist, he looks insane. That's clearly like what he's good at, what he wants to play, and then you see him play the Echo and you're like, wow, man. Like, I think his Echo was just so surprisingly good that I just want to give it to him so far based off of that. I think he's one of, if not the best Echo we've seen. I think probably Rascal's the best, but Yaki's definitely a close second, maybe third, if there's someone else I can't think of. And then also, you know, when they throw him on the May, I was thinking it was going to be really scary for them, right? Because BQB previously didn't have too good of performances like last year and stuff, but he came in there, he came out really good, and Yaki's May has been insanely good too. He flexes over to whatever they need, and he's not afraid to just adapt on the fly as well, right? Like, he'll whip out his comfort picks or his counter picks when needed, right? He'll whip out a Hanzo every once in a while, you know, he'll play a hit scan if it's really needed. His tracer is really good, I believe. He's just a really well-rounded DPS, and I think he is one of the big reasons why Florida is succeeding as well as they are this season, and I think it's really impressive from him, so good job on him. And all these players, they're all amazing players, obviously. They're insane. Some of the best in the world if we're talking about Rookie of the Year. Well, guys, these are my probably top 5 players for Rookie of the Year candidates for Overwatch League. If you have any that I didn't put on my list, or you want to make your own top 5, leave it down in the comments, you know, tell me. I'll definitely look at it. I'll try to respond to you. And if you agree with any of these, tell me, who do you think would win Rookie of the Year, right? Out of these 5 players, or out of all the players in the league. I'm really interested in Overwatch League, and I love talking about it, but I really appreciate if you comment and like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.